Ooh.
It's Wednesday, so I got two things I want to talk about in the gaming news world this week. The first thing, of course, is the big bad headline of the week. It's not exactly great news, but it is that Microsoft has
Ooh. Oh yeah, ooh. Baby daddy, ooh. Ooh.
leading to
Yo,
not
yo.
only a ton of people losing their
Yo,
lives,
yo,
but
yo.
also
Before I get started, let's
complete
bust the
woes
flow.
and just
MCs
losing
know
kids.
I'm the gravy
This is sort of
train that's
affecting,
slow.
as we
Down
all
the
know,
stirring
the
in the
subject
kettle.
to this
I
week's
pop a
football game.
burp cause I'm
So
a
hearing about
Slurpee
what's that
master.
like,
I
who's
got the
left, what's
Slurpee
happening,
and a
what next,
plaster. I
the
don't wanna
big thing
ask ya
is
what
this
I wanna
comes
do
on the
next
heels
year. I pause my TV till next year so I can rap on a acapella. Yo, they used to say yellow was the color of the rice I'm cooking, so chill out, mellow. Let's go with the crazy flow, wicked. I got a steering wheel I never use. I bought it once and had it for a day. I took my pay and say, here, have my money. I don't like it anyway, so I let it sit and rust like a crust on top of a pie that's flurry. In a hurry, I try to go, Harry Mack, I'm not. I attack the microphone like I can, though, and will I keep going? No, I'm done. Dun dun run run hun hun dum dum I'm better run run dum 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 dee da shi ha he ho chicka chicka. What am I doing? Buy, sell, buy, grab, rotate, rotate. What am I doing? My name is asshole, 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 cat, scruffy. I like it muffy. I don't really care, cause I don't like this cat's hair. Scruffy, muffy. I like it scruffy. Long mohawk. I don't really care. Whiskers. I don't really care. Long. Dun dun dun. Better run, hun. I burp. 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 Any melanactus, peractus, cheese on my head, Bruce Lee's on my head, Bruce Lee's on my head. NASCAR. NASCAR. Whoa! Somebody hear something? Anybody hear that? Put this page in the book. Put the page in the book. I don't really care what you say. Today is my day.
Xbox doing multiple
Talking
versions
your
of Xbox
inventory
games
using
that have
tab button.
a few
Okay.
details.
Thanks for letting me
So
know how to
also
play the
you get
game that
more
I bought.
studios like Tango
Huh,
Games,
if it wasn't for you, I would not know how to play this
is
game.
much bigger.
I'm
And at
stupid.
this
Ooh
point,
woo,
usually
kitty,
this thing
kitty,
happens,
kitty,
it's like,
ooh
oh,
woo.
it sucks, man. Game industry is crazy, and it always sucks. Like, sucks. Everybody lost their jobs.
I'm
But
glad
then
nobody
usually
watches
this
my
month
streams
comes
because they'd be like, oh my god, this guy
very
needs mental
sustained
health,
and
mental
very
case,
bad. So the
cases.
state of the industry as a whole, we'll talk about that in a second. Basically, like the clips notes
What
of
do I
this
do?
news. The
Where
industry
do I
reports
go?
Microsoft has
I
said
don't
that
really
as much
know.
as
What do I
4%
do?
or
Where
roughly
do I go? I
9,100
don't really
of the
know.
company's
What do
total
I
employees
do?
across
Where
all
do I
markets,
go? I don't
including
really know.
are affected
What
by
do I
Wednesday's
do?
layoffs. Some of this
Why would I want
information
to
came from
sacrifice
Amazon
anything?
Candy
Y'all a
Crush,
bunch
who's
of
still trying to
racist
get their act together.
assholes. You know that? You telling me to sacrifice shit? I saw racist.
But also
It's
across
like, I
other
just got my hair
studios. If
colored
you are
blue
familiar
and I have a
with
nose ring
Amazon
because you're
what we
racist.
know also
And you know what?
Rare
I
seems to be like
I
one
don't
of
really
the
care because I
least
just don't
reported
pay
items
attention to things, and when I do things, I don't really care. And
and a
I
lot
got
of
the
that,
same old retired
one of the
jokes, but it's still
hardest
funnier
to
than you.
prevent
And if you don't
would
care,
be
then I don't
certain
care.
games, yes, but also like Banjo-Kazooie has left
That's tired ass shit.
left Rare
You
after
tired, fool?
decades now.
Why are you so
Welcome back though
tired?
to
You not
the
sleep last
part
night?
the people and
What
as
am I
I
supposed to do?
mentioned,
Go
online
fishing?
who made
When the fish
the
bites,
proposal
press space.
online, apparently they were
I
working
ain't got a
on
fishing pole,
the
dummy.
RPG. That
Where's my
project is
goddamn
currently
fishing pole, idiot?
laid off. Not to
Yeah,
mention
I
the
ain't
fact
got
that
none. You
they
trying to tell me to
struggled
do
to
something I ain't got for it? I ain't got
basically
no fishing pole.
call
I ain't gonna
fruition.
do. Ain't got no
Fruition
fishing pole.
was this big new
Huh?
AAA studio that Xbox built to make a new Perfect Dark game.
Hold
That
tight
studio
when I
is now
fight.
shut
Get
down.
it right. Sacrifice 3 slots. You keep telling me to sacrifice shit. I'm gonna slap the shit out of you. Everything's fucking locked. What do you want me to do in this goddamn game? Obviously nothing. Everything's fucking locked. You don't teach me nothing. Sacrifice 2. Sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice. Oh, why don't you just sacrifice everything? Why don't you sacrifice everything? This game's boring because there's nothing to do. You keep me having me walking. I need a mellow break. I need a mellow break. I need a mellow break. Stay mellow, fellow. I need a yellow break. I need a money break. I need a money honey. Who's funny? Money B. Coming to red. Okay. So far, this game is not working. What am I supposed to do? I've done read everything the game threw at me. I done walked everywhere. I tried to open everything. What do you want me to do? Play something else? I will. I'll do it. What do you want me to sacrifice, dog? Yeah, it doesn't work. Don't work. Nothing works. I don't understand this. I don't understand this. I don't understand this. Oh, this is stupid, man. Seriously, what do I do? I don't want to play this anymore.
And Perfect Dark is canceled. Kotaku also reports that cuts are underway at State of Decay 3 studio Undead Labs also. So just real not good all across the board. And I think ultimately this comes down to just major frustration.
I figured it out.
Because people
I fucking figured it out. I figured it out.
Xbox, not about PlayStation. I don't think any of that shit matters. I think what matters now is like, as a player of games, as somebody who looks at games and is excited for new games to come out, and like I follow the announcements and stuff. This is just frustration from the systemic level, and it's something that it just feels like Xbox has continuously fumbled, and that is having all the money in the world, having the resources, acquiring all these studios, and then just kind of fumbling that opportunity. Look, when Xbox started gobbling everything up, which kind of crescendoed with Activision Blizzard, obviously plenty of skepticism about one company forming a monopoly and owning a bunch of things, right? But like, the positive side is like, oh, well, maybe because they have infinite money, they can enable some of these studios to really make some money. And it really seems like we haven't seen a lot. You know, on the one hand, they've been able to get out things like Diablo 4, and they've kept the Call of Duty machine churning, and yes, some cool games for Xbox Game Pass and stuff like that, some middle-of-the-road games have received funding. They're also just kind of like, it just feels like such. I don't want to go as far as to say this yet, but do you remember when Embracer Group bought up so much IP? They bought up all types of gaming studios, property, old franchises, with the hopes of bringing them all back, and then they just it's just not good. It just feels extremely frustrating because now it's like they got all these things, right? They grabbed all these things, but now they're kind of languishing. And a lot of the people that worked hard on all these things, on these games for so many years, are seemingly left in the dust. So that's my frustration with the whole thing. And when this always happens, people always ask, well, like, okay, but like, yeah, everybody's getting laid off and like all these things are happening, but what about leadership? And I honestly think after such a big shift like this, mark my words, something is coming out about leadership sooner rather than later. Leadership change-ups, shake-ups at the top or near the top. You know, all the people like the Phil Spencers, the Matt Booties, the Sarah Bonds, stuff like that. There has to be a remix. There has to be a shake-up at some point now because not only just because of like the failures here, but also like Microsoft has been and Xbox has been doing such a pivot that I feel like there just has to be change. There has to be accountability, and I do think that is happening. Like, I think that is also the aftermath of this big announcement. Mark my words, call it a gut feeling. I don't necessarily know like what's going to happen, and I don't know whether or not it's going to be like all of a sudden there's leadership.
Whoa.
But I do think changes are going to happen. And frankly, I
I
think at
was
this point they
just
should.
singing that
Also, I think we, as
song,
someone who buys
man.
and plays games,
That's
I shouldn't have to think or
crazy.
care about that stuff or their strategy or their market situation that much anyway. And I love the inside baseball, but enough is enough. And frustration is the word I keep bringing. Also, the fact that like there are probably things now that have been canceled from this layoffs or from when like Arcane Austin and Tango Gameworks and stuff like that. This whole culmination. There's probably a bunch of other things canceled that we don't even know about. With the game industry being so secretive and with so many projects worked on for years and years and years and not revealed, games are shit canned all the time. So there's probably a bunch of stuff that could have had potential that also hasn't seen the light of day. And I think that's going to continue to happen. And I think that sucks. That's right, you're getting negative, Jake, today, because like this stuff is just so not good. Like I said at the start, like it feels not good for the industry as a whole. Because yes, projects aren't seeing the light of day. Things that people love, franchises that people love, are languishing, not being taken advantage of, not, blossoming. Also, brain drain, of course. People are getting fired, laid off, tossed to the side. Intelligent people who have experience working games that, at this point, with how tough the job market can be, may stop making games, and then you may lose a good creative mind that worked on some of your favorite games. They moved on to something else, something more lucrative. Phil Spencer, like there was a statement to like employees, like there's an official statement. It's all corporate speak. To me, it's not even worth reading out loud because it's just that corporate speak gobbledygook. But ultimately, an extremely frustrating situation that I don't think we're going to hear the end of in terms of leadership shakeups, but also the fact that this is still developing. We're still getting wind right now as of recording. What studios are shutting down? What studios are experiencing layoffs? What games are being shut down? But as of right now, that's what we know. So if you want to read up on that stuff, everything I talk about, it's all linked in the description down below. All the sources and stuff.
American beers, American careers. At Anheuser-Busch, we're not just brewing beer, we're brewing futures.
Alright, if you're new here, this is two things. Every Wednesday, mostly every Wednesday, I do a news video where I just do a deep dive into two topics. Not like the Friday show on Game Ranks where I talk about all the news. Here I just kind of zero into a couple of things. The other bit of news I wanted to talk about this week is a bit lighter fare. It's just some silly bullshit that Hideo Kojima has said. So Hideo Kojima and crew and Kojima Productions and the great Yoji Shinkawa and all those people have essentially been taking Death Stranding 2 on a tour. Kind of like a press tour, concert tour, and there's been some interesting things to come out of it. Also, side note, if you didn't see the game ranks before you buy, or my Instagram posts, or my Twitter posts, or whatever, I really like Death Stranding 2. I think I like it more than the first. I'm biased because I'm a Kojima fan, but I had my issues with the first one, and I think Death Stranding 2 kind of fixes a lot of it. I'll do a dedicated video on that soon, but that aside, I'm trying to completely 100% it first, but that aside, yeah, Hideo Kojima in an interview talked about his next game a little bit. VGC reports Hideo Kojima wants to develop a game in space. So at this Sydney Film Festival, Kojima said that he doesn't merely want to go into space as part of the burgeoning space tourism industry, but instead wants to spend extended time in orbit. The quote is, I want to train properly, learn how to do the docking, go to the International Space Station, and stay there for a few months. I'm not a scientist, but I could probably make games in space. I want to be the first. There are a lot of astronauts over 60, so I guess it's possible. Then it gets even crazier with what he said. He started talking about Tom Cruise and putting himself in dangerous situations like how Tom Cruise does when he films his stunts and stuff to make him feel alive. He says, and I quote, "It's the Tom Cruise disease. Tom Cruise finds out his worth when living with his life on the line." That's just a good quote. The Tom Cruise disease is something that I think should be patented. Good job. But also, like, really, silly shit aside, Hideo Kojima developing a game in space, why not? Crazier things have happened. I honestly think, like, following Hideo Kojima's trajectory since, like, 1998, 1999, when I first, like, became obsessed with Metal Gear Solid, never expected this, like, normal, weird, creative nerd to ascend to these heights, doing talks at Sydney film festivals, Venice film festivals, meeting all these celebrities, doing all this crazy stuff with his games, coming up with podcasts, all this stuff, right? So at this point, I feel like anything can happen. So why not? Why not put him in space? I feel like he's done some stunts and stuff in the past, and I could see him doing some more crazy stunts that honestly people kind of like roll their eyes at, like PR stunts and stuff like that. But why not? To me, what I've always gotten across from him is that he does a lot of it because clearly he probably loves the fame, he loves the celebrities and stuff like that. But he's also driven to harness that to, push gaming forward. He had a really good interview recently with GQ that I highly recommend reading. I'll link that in the description down below. And that's really what I got from his direction here, like his drive. So going to space, getting more eyeballs, a guy made a game in space, do it. Why not? To bring it all back around, Hideo Kojima's talking about maybe going to space while Xbox is like struggling with great things like Rare getting a game out. Like, it's frustrating. Anyway, just trying to stay positive with the story. Those are the two things I wanted to talk about this week, but got a bonus thing. I got a bonus thing I want to talk about. Let's talk about 007 James Bond. One of my favorite things. Stick with me though. It's movie news, but I can relate it back to gaming. So, it was announced that Amazon MGM, who I was very skeptical of like taking over the Bond franchise, has announced the director they're working with for the next James Bond 007 movie. It is Denis Villeneuve, of course, behind Dune 1 and 2, which are fantastic films. He's also working on Dune Messiah, which is probably going to be really weird. Good luck with that. But he's also behind so many things. The Blade Runner sequel, but also one of my favorite and most unsettling movies ever, Prisoners. Just a beautiful, insane, pit of your stomach feeling movie. Enemy, he's done a lot over the years. He has a very strong creative vision. I like when he co-writes his stuff. He works with really good cinematographer. So like this is great. This is a huge announcement. This is like a director at the top of his game being attached to helm the next Bond movie, which will kind of steer the direction of the Bond franchise because it introduces a new James Bond. Denis is on record being a Bond fan since he was a kid, watching the old goofy ones, which is good, like Dr. No and like Connery, Roger Moore stuff, and I think that's good. I think that awareness is good because initially with this announcement I was a little bummed just because I think
nobody does lifted like Laura. Is the largest volume GMC and largest volume General Motors truck dealer in America. Laura Auto Group has a massive inventory of lifted vehicles with shipping available to your doorstep. Customize your new truck with lift kits, leveling kits, spray and bed liners, wheels, tires, and more. Build your customized lifted truck deal all online at lauraautogroup.com.
Purdue Global made it possible for us.
One of the reasons I chose Purdue Global was just the opportunities that they offer. Flexibility was free.
Purdue Global's opportunity for working adults is pretty amazing because he got to use his work experience and take courses that would give him the opportunity to press that before he could show here we do that. Not a lot of universities do that. And for us, we worked for 20 years to earn a lot of that experience, and it was nice that we got credit for all that time. Purdue Global provided us an opportunity to show our kids how important education is. And for us, it's about our family and where we want to go and what we want to do in the future that we want to pay as we go forward. This is our comeback.
Start yours at purdueglobal.edu.
The Craig era Bond movies got pretty serious. They're not the most serious things in the world, but that is the most serious real Bond we've had. And with Denis Villeneuve, I see it just going.
I don't